another chair and one
And you
of
guys
you.
can-
I'm not being fresh, I'm just.
Yeah.
One of you can sit in the black
And then-
chair and
Yeah.
slide over another chair. Yeah,
Yep, so, yeah, pull this one out and set it up here. There you go.
and, yeah, you could, tell us your name and where you're from and some of the exciting things you do with the FFA. Yeah. And before you get going now, you want to be careful. Because I would take drugs with
Were you? Oh, that's great.
Just a couple years ago.
Or the year before
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was back in 1962
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
or 30. 60,
Oh, that's great.
yeah. 62, I think it's sure. Yeah.
What?
And, yeah, it was great. And, so, welcome to the Senate Ag Committee and, so you can see what you're headed for from being the president.
That's right.
Kind of discouraging.
I know.
But anyway, welcome, welcome to the committee. And we're really pleased that you waited around for it, but we wouldn't miss you. So, yeah, welcome.
Hi, I'm Jesse Allen, the Lot State FFA president, and I go to Eastford Falls High School, so I up there.
Enosburg,
Oh.
just over the hill from me.
And our career center specifically, we focus more on the dairy handling, dairy foods, and forestry aspect of it.
Yeah.
I'm Megan LaFountain. I go to Virgins Union High School, but I go to the Career Center in Middlebury. And I am the president of my chapter in Virgins. And my chapter focuses a lot on the mechanics side of everything. And then the FFA at the Career Center focuses on forestry mostly.
Yeah. And Enosburg, you've had quite a robust forestry, department or program for quite a while. Yeah. And, so do you, what do you do with the forestry? Do you manage it and do these things selective cutting or?
A little bit of that, but we're actually about to have our winter event tomorrow for winter forestry. We focus on winter and spring forestry. So it's identifying those three species as well as invasive species that may harm them.
Yeah. Yeah. And up in Enosburg, she's from Virginia.
Virgins.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, you have a forestry part too. right?
Yeah, at the Career Center in Middlebury.
Yeah. And, what do you study there? Is it?
Well, I'm not a part of that. I am doing auto and diesel.
Oh,
Great.
So I'm focusing on ag mechanics.
yeah.
That's at the
That's
Hanford
great.
one, right?
Yeah.
Good.
So you
That's
get
great.
into all that technology stuff, computer?
Yeah, I just went to nationals and competed for ag mechanics there.
How'd you do?
But we placed bronze.
Great.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Wow.
Yeah, we've got a bill, well, it's not in our committee yet, but it's gonna be a right to repair bill. So that the manufacturers have to, make available to, the wood industry people, farmers, computer technology, so they can repair and do some repairs of, on their own equipment. And we had that, we talked about that last year, quite a bit, but never did get it done. That was over in the house most of the year, came over late and that got sent off to, economic development. But we'll be getting that, in the near future. So, any other thing you'd like to tell us? like, do you still have your state convention?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're still doing it at, VTC in Randolph,
yeah.
putting
When
on
is
the
that?
competition with that.
When is that?
This year it's May 20th and 21st.
And you're all invited.
Yeah,
Yeah, so this year, in the state association, Jesse and I wanted to kind of focus on diversifying agriculture. Because in the past years, it's been I don't wanna say everyone, but a lot of people in FFA are dairy farmers and show dairy, and you're not seeing as many of those like mechanics or like people that are interested in like horticulture, or just we wanna try to expand that and make it more inclusive, I guess.
That's our theme for this year, really. is
Yeah, our theme is digging into the future.
diversifying that agriculture.
Digging into the future, I like that.
well, I mean, we're under 500 deer.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we've got more, we haven't got any more big ones. Still got the 33, I think it is, but the guys with a couple of 300 cows are buying up the farms with 50 and 100 cows. You've got to diversify your students or it's going to be rough going. You can't have just dairy. And a lot of the big dairy farms have gotten into maple now and growing grains. I mean, it's really great.
And a lot of those bigger farms are just buying out the small family ones.
Yeah, and growing.
Right.
I don't know when it's gonna stop, but, or it ever will, really.
Yeah, like, cause the family farms can't really keep going as they'd like to.
No. So, questions from the committee? No, I think so.
So the conference, the big event is in May,
Yes.
and how many people at each of your school are involved with Future Farmers?
We have the chapters, so we have 17 chapters statewide.
Wow.
And majority of those chapters, I would say, come to convention, so that's
Great.
a really great time to have those chapters connect with each other. So like everywhere's from Cold Hollow, which is Lewisburg, to Virgins can talk to each other, even though there's distance of disconnect there.
Yeah.
But there's the competitions, we also have winter competitions and spring competitions, so there's like soils and land judging, which is very fun, I've done that before. Where you texture soil and find out if you could put a house with a basement there, if it's poorly drained, if it's good for crops.
Yeah.
All of those other qualities that FFA showcases in their competitions.
Yeah, like our association isn't huge compared to other states, it's pretty small compared to other states, but a lot of people in our association are active.
But did you get the bronze for the country? The United States?
Yes.
That's
But they
incredible.
place you in a category, so they'll have like this many people gold, this many people silver, this many people.
Still, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my school represented Vermont for farm and agribusiness management at
Yep.
nationals and ag mechanics at nationals.
It's great.
My school represented prepared public speaking, dairy handling, and dairy foods.
Yeah.
You're doing pretty well in that first category.
You're both great public speakers.
Yeah.
How
So-
many FFA students are there statewide now?
370 something.
And growing
That's
roughly.
good.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, our
growing.
registrations trickle in, so we haven't had all of them yet this year. But yeah,
But as like that was the end of 2023.
yeah, those were last year.
Yeah. But I kind of noticed that we've been having new chapters get going. So this year we go around the state and meet with most of the chapters. And we've been going around teaching them like the basics of FFA to kind of get them going and get them more active. So
Get that interest in those agricultural classes, which are very important.
Yeah, it hasn't really changed much. Because when I was president, visited all the chapters and one reason why I went to BTC instead of UVM. And because I'd had more time to devoted to FFA but, I never looked back.
It's taken a while to get around back in horse and buggy days.
Yeah.
He hitchhiked too.
So do you, I know, in the fall, I go to Eastern States, and I noticed there's quite a few FFA, members that come in. Have you guys been yet?
I have.
I have
Oh,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, it's my job. What?
I know I want to.
It's very fun.
So
Yeah,
they,
it's really,
they host the regionals there, you know, explain that.
So that's the New England, Albany.
East, it's the
Eastern.
eastern region, so
Eastern
from
region, so-
Ohio to yeah, Maine, Ohio, and then I can't remember who borders at the bottom, but it's the eastern region FFA competitions. So
Is that held at?
that's held at Eastern States during the
During the
fair.
fair?
Oh,
Yeah.
during the fair.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I've never been, so.
yeah, it's, do they still do, milk judging?
That's my
Oh, that's-
competition. I went nationals for that.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yes.
That's trying the different qualities of milk and saying like it's 2%, 1% skim, whole. And that's also
Flavor.
flavor, all flavors. So if you're cow down to an onion patch, you'll be able to taste it in your milk.
Wow.
As well as identifying cheese types and like how much moisture they have and where they originate. So it's very nice to be able to mention it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I was curious how those of you got involved in this organization, but also in thinking about ag for your futures.
So my freshman year, I took an ag class and I met my all-time favorite teacher in that class, and she really got me interested in what agriculture can introduce to me. I'm also a third generation FFA member, so my grandfather was an FFA member, and
So I was raised and went to elementary and middle school over in New York. And I ended up moving to Virgins with my mom, and I started going to Virgins my freshman year. And the FFA advisor and ag teacher is my cousin. So
Family connection.
So I signed up for welding and electricity and small engines and tractor safety with him for my freshman year. And then my stepdad was an FFA. And his brother and his sister and him all wore that same jacket in high school. So I saw that jacket for the first time and I knew I wanted one of my own. So then I went to school, within the first week of school, I went to the ag room and I was like, when's the next FFA meeting? And ever since then, I got elected as a chapter secretary and here I am.
I just wanna say how proud we are of all of you, and we always say this about young people, but you're all really the future, because without food, without agriculture, we have a serious problem on our hands. So I'm so grateful that you're so interested and committed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, right?
Yeah, thanks, Bobby. So the chair mentioned BTC and UVM a couple minutes ago. You must know folks that did the 2+2 program too. No?
Yes, you do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
chapter advisor did that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mr. Vanderwert, Bill Vanderwert, and I are both graduates. We're both Virgins members, state officers, and 2+2 graduates here.
It's sort of in a dormant state at the moment.
Yeah.
To put it nicely, but we're hoping that we can resurrect it again. Because I think
Oh, it's
it's one of the best things we've ever done.
Yeah.
Some, I know from they might not have these, but from our association, some of the background that we want to make sure you guys are aware of with the changeovers with VTC, VSU, and dropping the ag program. It meant that all dual enrollment and all ag programs that had college credits ceased this year. So the next couple years, which has actually changed the curriculum and what some of the tech centers are even allowed to offer. So they're steering them in different directions because they have to meet their educational requirements. And so some of our programs have completely changed, or they're in this limbo of they don't have the credits that are required to keep the program. So they're looking at cutting back on programs in the ag department. And a lot of it falls back on, we don't have an in-state institution that's offering these credits to these students. So
Yeah.
up here, that's something we love, we always love the support of just knowing that that's the background of some of the like, just not even being able to offer some of the things we have before because of the changing
I didn't
political
realize it
scene
filtered
with
all the
some
way
of
down.
the colleges and stuff. So that's always a challenge, and we always like to ask for support at your district schools and your career centers for keeping involved and keeping the programs like our forestry, our mechanical programs, and our sustainable diversified programs. Because that's the only way these students get to be involved in FFA or like these guys in skills and FBLA through those business programs or through our ag department. So once we lose those student-led organizations.
Yeah, that really stinks out.
You really did.
So your last name is Allen, so who's your name that?
Paul Holdley.
I see the advisor in Virginia used to be Bill.
It's Bill Vanderwert right now. It used to be Harmon Boyce. Harmon Boyce.
Now,
Nope, that's who it used to be. He was there for about 40 years.
Now it's Bill Vanderwerf.
okay.
And he was a 2+2 graduate. And he's come up here to testify with you all.
That's the one that's my cousin.
So you're related to all
Yeah. I'm Dutch, so we're all related.
of them. No, it's a great organization and, you know, you really, meet a lot of good people. And, you know, you'll remember them your whole life and so you run into people that you went to FFA with or met and it'll be good, yeah. And, we used to have district contests when you had a lot of small schools. And so, you know, you learn or met people from up north, from Craftsbury and all over Barton and Orleans. Well, then you grow up and golly, they're still there and you've known them, they're on the school boards and you know, like when I ran to be a senator. Well, even before that, when I was a rep up there, people all over Littleton, I had a former schoolmates, FFA members and basketball players and baseball players and, you know, that know you. So it chases you, you know, all the way through. And Dave Beebe from over in Swanton, you ever heard of the Beebe ponies? And you know, him and I are still big buddies and Stanley Wright up in Enosburg and you know, those guys we've been buddies since we were in high school. And no, it's good and we're glad to.
And you've all done decent too.
Well,
They've done pretty good.
yeah, but we're kind of dragging along. So, anything else you'd like to enlighten us with?
Floor is yours.
I feel like we've gotten a lot of amazing opportunities through FFA with just state convention, having those different chapters in that, as well as having national convention. So we had quite a few chapters go to national convention, so that's
Good.
all the states all together in Indianapolis this year. So that gave an opportunity for rural farm kids to go into the big city and meet people from all over the place and get all kinds of new perspectives on life as well as agriculture, which was a really great opportunity.
Yeah, I'll tell you one more quick story about the national convention. course, back in my day, you took a train. And I was going to VTC, so my mom picked me up and took me to the train station. And so away I went. And so on the way back, I stuck pretty close to the train on the way out. And on the way back, we had to switch trains in Chicago. And I had about a 3-hour layover in Chicago. So I said, well, heck, Chicago. I'd never been hardly out of Vermont other than the Mass in Connecticut. So I'm gonna take a little hike. So I took a little stroll down into Chicago. Well, in Chicago, you have a time difference too. And, you know, I like,
You were the-
I got all kinds of time. So I get back to the train station and the guy at the place said, well, you missed that train. And I had to wait for the next train. And the next train, instead of getting off in White River, Vermont, ended up down in Massachusetts. So I had to call home, of course, and say the schedule's been.
But no cell phone back then, right? I mean, you didn't just text
Oh,
your
no,
mom,
you had
it was
to go to
more
a
of a process,
payphone,
right? Yeah.
And, oh, yeah, so I got some learning.
They had some solo trips to DC that they learned how to navigate the metro
Yeah,
in
yeah.
DC solo. That yeah.
Got lost at the Capitol and had to call National FFA because we're two 16-year-olds in the middle of DC, don't know where we are, so we've had some lifelong
We
skills.
were sitting on a curb and a little kid came up to us thinking we were famous
Yeah.
with her mom asking for a picture with us. And then the mom like knelt down and told her daughter, "These are Vermont FFA state officers. Like your mom and dad were in FFA, and like state officers are huge." It was so
Right.
cool.
That's great.
That's
great.
Yeah. Well, very good, and so where do you go next? Did you get into the House Committee?
We are headed to lunch. They sent us a Zoom link for the House Committee at like 2:45, I think. So
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot
great.
for
Really good.
coming and hanging out with us for a little bit, and
we'll
really.
we'll
appreciate-
probably be sending you guys an invitation for state convention if you
Good.
guys want to
Great.
come and check it out. And we always welcome if anybody wants to be a judge for any of our random events that we have going on that day. So
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Great work.
Say hi to your grandfather.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.